All right, I got all my gear ready, got all my food ready. I've got offline mode set up on Google Docs so I can work on scripts in my video when I get to my campsite. And we got a beautiful day. Let's do it. All right, it's about 6 hours to Usher's Road up in New York. It's 10:30 a.m. right now in Washington, D.C., so I should get there right around 4:30, 5 o'clock to help set up camp and get dinner ready. All right, let's go. Maryland. And of course, that means the Baltimore-Washington Parkway. Oh, it never fails. Delaware? There was no welcome to New Jersey sign, so here's a sign for the New Jersey Turnpike in Atlantic City. Feels appropriate. One benefit of Jersey that I always forget is that you don't have to pump your own gas, so that's nice. Ooh, look at all the buildings. Mawa. There's an Aventador spider behind me right now. It looks very good. It looks very good. As soon as I was done ogling that Aventador in my rearview mirror, I looked up and realized that I was driving past the IKEA in Paramus, New Jersey, which is the IKEA where I bought all of my first furniture when I graduated college and moved to New York in 2012. So, kind of cool to revisit places I have been in like certain chapters of my life. Still can't recommend Paramus though as a place to be or visit. It's peak New Jersey. New York state line. We made it to New York in the New York State Thruway. Here it is, Usher's Road State Forest. The thing is, this is not my actual destination. This is just for tonight. Of course, that begs the question, where am I going? Where I'm going is here, Plattsburgh. Where I'm at right now is roughly here for the night. This wasn't originally where I was trying to go. I was originally trying to go here, to Meadville in northwestern Pennsylvania. That was my first plan. My second plan was here, Burlington, Vermont. My third plan, of course, as we already discussed, is Plattsburgh. So, why was that my third plan, and why are we doing that now? So, heading to Plattsburgh because tomorrow, that big ball of gas up there in the sky is going to be covered by the moon at 3:26 p.m., and Plattsburgh is right in the middle of the path of totality, roughly 3 minutes and 36 seconds of total blackout darkness. Meadville has about 3.5 minutes worth of totality as well, but the problem is that the weather forecasts came back and it was going to be 90% cloudy, and I didn't want to miss it. So then I immediately looked at Burlington, which was also in the path of totality and still a reasonable drive from my home in Washington, and I made a reservation to camp in Shelburne, just south of Burlington, at a campsite I actually spent a couple of nights at 11 years ago. That is, of course, until I realized that the reservations that I made in Shelburne were not for tonight, but for next Sunday, when the eclipse is not going to happen. And I discovered this last night, less than 12 hours before I was supposed to leave. And so what I did is something that is extremely out of character for me as of late, and I set off with very little in the way of a firm plan, which brought me here to Usher's Road State Forest, which after much research I discovered is open 24/7 and allows for dispersed camping, or boondocking, so I can camp here overnight for free. No reservation required. But now let us briefly discuss the why. All right, truck, you be good. I want to see the eclipse because I seek to experience awe. For me, creating the opportunities to experience awe is me generating my own joy. And in this case, I have a guaranteed awe-inspiring event coming my way. I've never seen a solar eclipse before, let alone a total eclipse, and having the path of totality within driving distance meant I had the opportunity for awe of the highest kind, celestial awe. It gets me to lift my head up from the ground out of the dirt, where I spend my days feeling like the protagonist in a story with no discernible arc or unifying plotline. An event that forces me to look up to the sky and behold forces and happenings that simultaneously tell me I am wholly insignificant, yet wholly miraculous too. So this is the third itinerary edition of this trip now. I left home without a guaranteed place to sleep, even though that has actually worked out pretty well. I was fairly confident I was going to have a spot, but I usually don't do anything without being absolutely certain with a firm plan. After the eclipse tomorrow, I'm going to have to drive 9 hours straight through. It ends about 4 o'clock, so that means I'll probably get in close to 1 a.m. back in Washington, and then I got to get up at 6 a.m. on Tuesday morning for a full day at work. So I've had the weather fight me, I've had reservations fight me, I've had all the other people who want to come up here fight me in the form of traffic. I have this Rode mic fighting me now because I realized that half the footage I just shot in the parking lot has a bunch of static over it and might not be usable. So why am I going through all of this, driving 18 hours, camping out in the woods tonight for 3 minutes and 36 seconds in the moon shadow? So why? Yeah, I want to see the eclipse, but I also don't want to let obstacles stop me. I've been feeling lately, and for a lot of the last few years, honestly, that my life has been happening to me instead of me authoring my life. And I wanted to make this some kind of story about overcoming obstacles and how if you just, set your mind to something and choose to not let obstacles get in your way, you can have whatever you want. But as I was driving today, and as I sit in this tent right now, what I'm realizing about obstacles is that there is only one obstacle. The obstacle is me. I am the only obstacle. Being lazy and hiding behind excuses of, oh, well, the weather's not going to work out, or, oh, it's a really long drive, is me being lazy and using those as really thin excuses to justify me being lazy and justify me not doing something that I want to actually do. So this trip for me is about reawakening the version of myself who approached challenges and opportunities with excitement and confidence and getting back in touch with that version of me. The birds are singing this morning, and the owls were hooting last night, so that was really cool. It's about 28 overnight, so pretty chilly. My bag is only rated to 30, and it's only rated to 30. But now I'm making a little bit of tailgate breakfast, some oatmeal. Met some lovely people from Brooklyn who stayed overnight here too, heading up to Whiteface Mountain for the eclipse. And yeah, perfectly blue skies. I never understood the phrase in for a penny, in for a pound until this morning when I was talking to my friends over here and they asked me how far I was going and I said Plattsburgh. And they said, oh wow, you're really going for it. And then I said to myself, yeah, in for a penny, in for a pound. I've already driven 7 hours. What's another 2? In for a penny, in for a pound. Just crossed into the path of totality in Schroon Lake, New York. It's 9:30 in the morning, but I'm going all the way to Plattsburgh because I want that 3.5 minutes in the dark. Here they're only going to get about a minute. And so for another hour of driving, I get 3.5 times the eclipse. So I think I'm going to make it. Not eclipse time yet. But I did find pretty much the perfect spot. Now, we just gotta wait until 2:30 before that goes away. So I am not the only one here looking to get their head out of the dirt and up into the sky. So this is a reminder myself that if I don't let my own complacency and laziness get in my way and be an obstacle, I can make my own luck and I can make my own joy.
Oh, it happened!
one of the most amazing experiences of my life. It's 2:48 a.m. I have been on the road now for 11 hours. Worth it.